Hi, Stephen. It's Milu.
Hi, Milo. How are you?
Good. So I can't turn on my camera. I don't have the option for that. But maybe I'll try with the link you sent because I used the one that was in the email.
There's one that I sent you on WhatsApp.
Yeah, let me try that.
A wonderful, wonderful evening. If you are in Lusaka, Zambia, or in Southern Africa. And a good morning if you are joining us from the United States of America, or different time zones. But the bottom line is, today is the day that we have all been waiting for. Demo day for FoundersBoost Zambia 4 cohort. We have an exciting lineup of startups that managed to complete the intensive program. Joining me here is Faith, my colleague. Hi, Faith.
Hi, Stephen. How are you?
Good.
Sorry, it seems my gadget is performing, but I'll be in touch with you shortly. I think everything will start flowing nicely.
All right. So we are getting started right away. And as we all know, FoundersBoost is a global pre-accelerator that prepares founders, that prepares startups for accelerators, for investment, and for revenue. So here today, to kick off our program, we are going to have a talk. We are going to have a cafe talk with amazing panelists. We are going to welcome Milou Van Bruggen. Milou. Hi, Milou, how are you?
Oh, good, thanks. How are you, Stephen?
Very well, and thank you for joining us and Joanne. Where is Joanne?
I saw her backstage, but I don't know if she was moved here.
Okay. All right, we need Joanne. But otherwise, how are things in you in Geneva now?
Yes, exactly. All good. Snowing, it's very cold. But other than that, all good. So yeah,
Right.
it's an interesting time of year because we're, I think, as everyone, trying to wrap up things before Christmas. And at the same time, you also want to start your plans already for 2023. But for that, you need the results. So it's always a tricky time to get everything rounded up and at the same time plan for the new year already. So it's a busy period, but it's also an exciting one.
All right. So I can see Joanne is in now. Hi, Joanne. Hi, Joanne, how are you?
I think she may have dropped. Ah, she's back. There she is.
Hey, Joanne, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good.
I think there was a little bit of feedback there. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. And so here is Milou and Joanne. I think I will leave it to you to take it up from here. I'm sure your coffee is before you, and all right. Okay, thank you, and over to you.
It's not a coffee, but I guess it counts.
Mine's hot water. I can't take coffee right now. Hi, Milou. How are you?
Oh, good, thanks. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Are you excited about Demo Day?
Yes, of course, very excited. So tell me, Joanne, because I've heard so much about you from Stephen and a couple of other people. So tell me a little bit more.
Well, okay. I'm Joanne Mtaja. I am a lawyer and a regulatory advisor here in Zambia. And I have been working within the Zambian ecosystem since 2019, mostly providing regulatory advice on various platforms and, just legal issues that are critical to any startup's journey. Because I am a firm believer of the fact that you can't do anything without understanding the legal environment or the regulatory environment within which you're operating. So that's mostly how I have been volunteering within the ecosystem since 2019. And I've participated in a number of startup weeks and startup weekends and hackathons, and even the investor event that we had last year. And I'm really just passionate about collaborating with various people to grow the ecosystem, the Zambian ecosystem, for us to get where we need to be. And yeah, that's basically me. I'm also a fellow of a program called Dream VC, which accelerates people who want to understand the investment space here in Africa. So I'm one of the 2 Zambian fellows that graduated this year, and I'm very proud of that.
Awesome. Congratulations. That's really good.
Thank you. Heard a lot about you too. I'm sure people want to know about
I hope
Milu
good
and where she's
things.
from.
I hope only good things. Okay. I think, yeah, I see a few people here that I already know, but for the ones that don't know me, so I work for the UN International Trade Center. And basically what ITC does is we support trade for SMEs across developing markets. So Asia, Latin America, Africa, Caribbean. But our projects are specifically supporting the tech sector in sub-Saharan Africa. We're in 10 different African countries, amongst which Zambia since 2019. We work with a lot of tech startups there, but we also work with the tech ecosystem. So we work with the tech hubs, we work with the ministries that are responsible for anything digital and ICT related, also with private sector players who are involved in initiatives to drive tech entrepreneurship. So it's kind of like looking at the ecosystem as a whole, rather than only working with the companies themselves, because it kind of like, it works the way where if you drive the ecosystem, it also helps the tech startups thrive in that ecosystem. And I think when you compare it to other support programs, because there are quite a lot of support programs out there, what we are probably strongest at is support with export, internationalization, investment readiness. So kind of already at that more mature stage. And I think it was a really good addition in Zambia because we saw that there was quite a lot of support going on for very early stage or even idea stage. Whereas we came in at the more kind of like level where the tech startups already matured a bit more. So that was a good entry. And it's really interesting to see that with the new presidency that came in place, that there is a lot more awareness and things going on in that space now. Zambia is a lot more open for it and a lot more receptive. So I'm sure that in the next couple of years, the tech sector will thrive a lot. So I'm super excited about that.
That's awesome. So I'm guessing working with a FoundersBoost Zambia, which is pre-accelerator, is trying to prepare these startups for acceleration, for investment, for revenue, and then you come in and take it up from that level. I think that's an awesome collaboration.
Yeah, exactly. It builds on each other, right? And I think it's good to see what other players do and what is your unique selling point and how can you work together. So, having this demo day today, and then next week we have an investor event where actually the startups are pitching in front of investors. So that's kind of like the next stage. But yeah, on FoundersBoost, what has the program been like in the past few months? Can you tell a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so it's been, as you know, a very intensive 6 or so weeks, I think, for our startups who are here. It's quite a rigorous program, but out of the 7 that went through, we have 4 that have completed it. So we're really excited about that. And they've covered a number of topics. They've looked at things like customer development, pitch, presentation skills, and, you know, just helping them to understand the processes of things like market sizing or, you know, building products that matter. It's really just getting them to a point where they can either get into a proper accelerator program or be investment ready themselves and start to scale and get their revenue going. So that it's been that intensive. And I think it's a very important program. Programs like FoundersBoost are obviously very important to the ecosystem because they help us to get the basics right. They help us to set the foundation as we now scale. And as our startups scale from that level, what we'll see is better and better startups. We'll see better investors coming in, you know, and we'll definitely see this economy growing. So I think it's been an awesome program, and I'm excited to see the pictures later on this evening.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I do think it's a really great program, and it's not just, you know, like a one-off training or kind of like one engagement and then it's off. It's like, it's really a commitment for a couple of months where it's kind of like a coaching trajectory over a couple of months so that, you know, you can start to think about, mature your ideas and build on that. I think that is a really good approach. And
what I love about it is that it's mentor driven. So it's people that have been where you are and you can associate it with your own journey. So I think it's an awesome approach to pre-acceleration.
Yeah, exactly. And it actually touches a little bit upon a question that I see in the chat. It says, what are some of the biggest challenges that startups in Zambia have when growing? I mean, there are some startups here in the room as well who can talk about it too. But what I see in general, when I compare it to other countries we work in, actually, it's really easy to set up a business in Zambia, which is great, like to formalize it and register your business. If I compare it to Ghana, for example, it's really difficult to set up a business there. Whereas once you have a business in Ghana, the ecosystem is really well formed, so it's easy to grow. Whereas in Zambia, it's easy to set up your business, but I think the ecosystem can be developed further. And this is exactly what Nyamuk Africa and FoundersBoost and our program are trying to do. So I think one of the challenges is like, there is not always this supportive ecosystem, and that's something we need to build because there's so much opportunity in Zambia to leverage if that will be built further. And I think, again, to the point where the new presidency is now in place, it actually puts a lot of emphasis on the digital transformation and digital economy. That's going to be a big thing in the next couple of years. So I'm excited about that. Yeah. So
I think. Yeah, no, I was just going to add on what you said. Like, I think, like you said, it's pretty easy to set up a business here. Even our regulatory environment it's quite welcoming, not only for the startups, but even for investors trying to come in. So there's not a lot of restrictive provisions when it comes to you being able to invest in a company and even have some of those exchanges that you want as an investor. But we do still see some challenges when it comes to raising, when it comes to, so you'll see that the ecosystem is still pretty nascent. But I do believe that it's just the process that we're going through. And it's programs like these, it's Nyamuk Africa, it's other hubs that are within the ecosystem. It's collaborations with you, for example, that are really going to get us to that next level that we want to see in the ecosystem. So I think we're just going through a process where we just need to leverage more on collaborating more as an ecosystem. And we'll definitely be able to take advantage of the opportunities that exist because they are so many.
Yeah. And I was actually talking to couple of stakeholders today, and not necessarily in Zambia, but in Africa as a whole. For example, the person that leads liquid telecommunications on the continent, and a person from Twitter. And it was really interesting to hear their insights about the fact that, for example, Kenya is a really developed market in that sense in Africa, right? Like mobile money solutions that already started like 10, 15 years ago. But for them, it took, let's say, 10, 15 years to build that in that country. Whereas, for example, in upcoming markets like Zambia, this will accelerate much faster because we can learn from how the other continents or countries have done it. And, like the ecosystem or the infrastructure is coming in place pretty quickly. And then I think the uptake will be much faster than in the other countries. And actually, to your point on investment, I see a question here in the chat as well. So what are some of the things missing from the ecosystem? This was actually to the point where the connections we have with VCs and investors who invest in Africa, they were always geared to Kenya, Nigeria, South Africa, kind of maybe Egypt, like, the big kind of 3-4. So that was really the idea for us. Like, okay, there are amazing tech startups in Zambia that are as good as the ones, or even better, in the countries that actually get the attentions from VCs and investors. But because the VCs and investors don't know about Zambia or Zimbabwe or Malawi, for example, they haven't heard stories about it. So they're like, they don't know where to start. They don't know the country, the ecosystem. So that's kind of a bridge that we try to make in terms of, okay, you are in Africa, or maybe not yet, and you've been in Kenya and Nigeria, but why don't you look at these markets? And for them, they were like, we would like to explore it, but we don't know where to start. We don't know anyone. We how to enter. So that's where we kind of built that bridge and started the investor event last year, which was a great success. A couple of investments actually did happen on the back of that. So that was a missing piece. I mean, it can still be accelerated further, but I think the investor events like this are really important, that actually investors are taken by the hand and brought to such markets, and give them the trust, like, we're going to introduce you to the ones that are relevant for you. You don't have to start from scratch. We can introduce you to the right people that you want to speak to. So building the bridges, I think it's an important part. Sorry, I've been talking for way too long on this one. It's just so much to say.
Okay. You're okay. You're okay.
So but maybe you can also talk a bit. Yeah, go ahead.
On your point about just making people aware of our ecosystem is one of the reasons that I actually did the Dream VC program, because I think it started about 3 or 4 years ago. And just like you'll see the same trajectory in terms of people who participate in the program. Most of them will come from Nigeria, most of them will come from Kenya, and most of them will come from South Africa. So like I said, I was only one of 2. But the whole point of getting involved in that program was to, one, join a community of investors, a community of other venture capitalists who want to get into the market, and to show them, look, Zambia is here and this is what we have to offer, and this is what the ecosystem looks like. And for most of them, you'll find this would be the first time that they'd probably be hearing about certain startups coming out of the Zambian ecosystem. So it really is about us beating the drum and people coming to the party. So yeah, I think, like you said, things like investor event, which will be taking place next week, Friday, are us beating the drum and bringing the investors to the table so that they can see what we have to offer. So yeah, it's just about us making the world aware that we're here, and we have a lot to offer. I mean, Zambia is the second largest ecosystem in the southern part of Africa after South Africa. So that means something. And yeah, I think even for investors and startups, it's something that we need to leverage on.
Definitely. We were also thinking about and I just want to hear your thoughts on this. So basically, we know that Lusaka is the kind of big hub where you go to as a tech entrepreneur or entrepreneur in general. There are hubs like Bongo Hive, Jacaranda Hub, impact hubs. So there are a couple of hubs around. But Zambia is a big country, right? Like, you don't just travel to Lusaka within half an hour or an hour. If you live on the other end of the country, you might even have to take a flight. And there are little to no hubs outside Lusaka. Like, what do you think about that? Like, how could that be boosted to like set up hubs in other areas and get that running?
Oof, that's a good one. So like you said, these hubs are pretty much not even centered around the line of rail per se. So most of them would have maybe in Lusaka, we have few maybe on the Copper Belt and maybe Livingston somewhere there. Not much outside of that area. And how do we get more hubs there? It's about, I think it goes back to collaboration. So those of us that are existing now, how can we work together to set up more and more in other parts? Because innovation is happening everywhere in the country. I was speaking to a young man from the northern part of the country, somewhere in Nakonde, which is at the border of Zambia and Tanzania. And he's come up with this amazing idea. He very recently attended the innovation summit that was being held here at the Ciela Hotel. And he was able to exhibit that. But because he's so far out, he doesn't even know that there's hubs that can help, that there are pre-accelerator programs that he can be a part of, and that there's acceleration and there's things like investment, VCs, things like that. He doesn't know that. So we definitely need to come together as hubs and pre-accelerator programs, accelerator programs to see how we can enter the circuit in some of these other places in the peri-urban and rural areas. We just have to be deliberate about it. I mean, we were able to host AfriLabs here in Zambia, in Lusaka. We had literally the whole of Africa here. We should be able to do something similar just within the country and go around and establish some of these hubs in other places. So I think the capability is there. We just need to work more together.
Yeah, no, I agree. And exactly, the word collaboration is where it should be, because establishing hubs in other places, there's so much space that is not leveraged, right? Like, so for example, hubs could expand and kind of like take space in offices that have unused space. Like, for example, Jacaranda Hub used to be in the Liquid Telecommunications office, and why not? And cut down costs so that entrepreneurs have a space where they can come together and work from. Not just in Lusaka, but also in other areas, because what we had also seen is when we did digital freelancer training is what we called it. We wanted to do that everywhere in Zambia, not just in Lusaka. And then we decided, okay, let's do it virtually to reach everyone. But then at the same time, not everyone has good internet, everywhere. So if you could do those things from different hubs and then reach more people that way, that's really important, so that there's like entrepreneurship can grow anywhere in the country. And of course the hub will always be Lusaka. That's the same in Nairobi or in London or in New York, but in the end you do need to foster the growth of that in other places as well, and that's very interesting. So can you tell me a little bit more about Dream VC, because it's to me, I only heard about it a couple of months ago, and I was just really interesting. What is it like? What's their main mission?
Okay, so think of Dream VC as like an accelerator program for VCs, or people who want to enter investment or the investment space or VC space. So they run two programs. One would be like at a basic level to just understand venture capital. And then the next level is where you're at a more senior space and you can actually join a fund or enter a firm as an analyst, or even as a partner, or even start your own fund or firm. And so I joined at that second level. But basically, they just equip you with the skills that you need to understand venture capital from an African perspective. Because in as much as we talk about startups, talk about VCs, we also have to understand that the African continent is unique and it has unique needs and it needs people who understand what's happening on the ground, because you have to customize even your solutions to the African ecosystem. It has to be customized to the actual problems that we have. So in a similar manner, even in the VC space, we have very unique problems, which is what the Dream VC program is trying to tackle, to get more people to understand the VC space, and to get more venture capitalists, local people who understand the ecosystem, to invest in themselves. Yeah, so that is Dream VC. And what I love most about it is it's not just about venture capital. We had people and panelists coming in from different forms of investment and different forms of investors participated in the program, and they'll come through and speak to us. Some of them not just about VC. We also tackled alternative financing models, which would be very helpful, because as you know, it's not every startup that is cut out for VC. There's different forms of funding that they could definitely benefit from, and VC is not the only one. So the program helps you to understand all that, so that even if somebody like me comes in, an advisor, I'll be able to advise that, okay, where the startup is now, I don't think VC fits your model, and perhaps we should look for alternative forms of financing, such as revenue sharing or profit sharing, things like that. So that is Dream VC in a nutshell. And it's an awesome, very gruesome, I think almost as gruesome as the FoundersBoost program. It's about 20 weeks, actually. But it's a really good program. And I hope if there's anybody that's on the call that would be interested in taking part in that program, I can definitely share a link. They do run this program every year. So they have a rolling enrollment, and people can take part if they want to.
Perhaps you can put the link in the chat anyway for anyone that's interested.
Definitely. I'll
think
put it in as we go.
Yeah. I think this is a really good note to end on, because it's exactly like you say, investment readiness doesn't mean just getting ready to raise from investors or VCs, right? It's getting ready for investment in any form, or even to grow. So that's a really important part to think about, because some of the entrepreneurs, even when I worked at a startup myself, was thinking, oh, we need to raise investment from this angel investor because he's here and we can get money from him, and not really thinking about, okay, but do we actually really need this from this person who then wants a stake in our company, wants to sit on our board, might steer our company in ways and lose a little bit of control. So that's a really interesting and important point to note. And I think also what the demo day is a little bit about, to show what the entrepreneurs have come to, and show kind of like what is the growth in the future. And the investor day is specific indeed for raising from investors and VCs. That's what we selected the tech startups on. And also to give kind of like an insight in Zambia to investors and VCs, that they start talking about this, and then give other funders also the trust that they should invest in Zambian in the Zambian ecosystem and entrepreneurs. So yeah, thank you so much, Joanne. It was really interesting.
No, you're definitely welcome. But you mentioned the investor event, and I know we ran it last year. What were the results of that? Just for people to get a glimpse of how it went, and what were the results?
Sure. So it went really well. So basically we started with a couple of keynotes from VCs to see how they run, where they have invested before, etc. And then we had 10 tech startups pitching for 3 minutes. That was accompanied by also 3 minutes of Q&A. And then after that, investors could decide who they want to speak to one-on-one. So they could decide on the basis of the pitch if they're interested in speaking with any of them. So we matched them quickly. Then they had the one-on-ones. And actually quite a few of them, like 6 or 7, continued conversations after the investor event with the investors and VCs. 2 investments already happened on the back of that. So one was 2 months later and the other one was 6 months later, because sometimes it takes time. And there might be another one coming up, but can't confirm that yet because it's not there yet. So, but I'm hopeful there will be a third one, and then from this event, I'm sure there will be something happening as well.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yes,
That's
so
exciting
next week,
stuff.
Wednesday. Yes, it's next week, Wednesday, on the 14th of December. It's going to be a hybrid model, and Stephen can share in the chat a link if you want to join. It's really set up for tech startups and investors, but if there is an audience that wants to join, they're always welcome to. So Stephen can share the link in the chat.
Awesome. So
Great,
nice
thank
catching
you
up
so
with
much.
you, Lulu.
It was great, and cheers to the demo day, cheers to the weekend.
Cheers.
It's,
Exactly. And congratulations
it's
to our founders pitching today. I mean, awesome. Well
Awesome
done.
job.
I know it's not been easy, but you guys have made it. So cheers to you.
Definitely.
Thank you so much, Milu and Joan. You can go and do your review now. That was a great chat. Yeah, so we move on now to the big one. We are going to move straight forward and get our get to look at the pitches from the founders. We have 4 startups that completed this program. When we started, there were 7. But as you all know, that when it's intensive, when it's a program is intensive, the founders get to be tested, their resilience and all that. So 3 got down, and we have 4 that have reached the finishing line. And so before we go into the pitches, we're just going to listen to this message, this very short message about FoundersBoost.
I'd like to welcome you to the FoundersBoost Fall 2022 Demo Day. I'm Blake Caldwell, the CEO and co-founder of FoundersBoost. We are a startup support organization focused on founders at the pre-seed and seed stages. From afar, what we're doing here at FoundersBoost is quite straightforward. The problem we're solving is that building, running, and scaling a business is extremely hard and complex. And our solution is to provide one-on-one mentorship to help founders avoid pitfalls, make insights, gain connections, and more. What is unique to FoundersBoost is how we go about achieving this. Our ethos is to be a startup support organization that truly puts all founders first. To do that, we realize that our programs must be designed to give without taking from the founders and also be accessible to deserving founders from all backgrounds. That's why our programs don't charge or take equity, and that's why our makeup of founders more accurately reflects society, with nearly 80% of our startups having an underrepresented founder. To execute on this mission, we partner with leaders and organizations that have a similar vision for the founders in their local ecosystems, or alternatively, their particular industry vertical. And as you may have guessed, some of those leaders are your inspiring Demo Day hosts today. And we're all proud of the impact we're making, because to date, we've supported 20 geographies with our programs, with 9 of them running this cohort, along with an additional sector-specific accelerator focused on the autism space, which we run in partnership with the innovative nonprofit Multiple. As we look to the future, our goal is to continue to find partners with the same ethos, and along with our partnership with FoundersBoost Fund and our nonprofit arm FoundersBoost Foundation, we are excited to continue to bring our resources, framework, and know-how to support even more founders across the world. If you, like us, want to make a more equitable startup ecosystem, join us. Now, let's shift our focus back to the deserving founders, and I wish you all a wonderful Demo Day.
Wow, that was a brief message there from Black. So we are now going straight into the pitches. And the first pitch that we are going to watch is by Goliath, that is Goliath Aerospace.
Hello, My name is Pruxum Sangu, the CIO with Goliath Aerospace Technology, a professional drone service provider specialized in aero data collection, analysis, and consultation in agriculture and forestry. Our goal is to solve agriculture data needs in Zambia and the surrounding regions after identifying the lack of data-driven agriculture in developing countries. Consequently, this has led to inefficient farming methods and wasted of resources such as fertilizers, pesticide, with an ever-increasing food demand as the population is projected to grow. Thus, the need for more efficient and effective method of data collection, optimized production processes in agriculture and forestry. Our solution is to incorporate our drones with various digital cameras, artificial intelligence, sensors alongside a digital platform to help us collect data and analyze it more efficiently. This will improve yields, reducing costs on the part of farmers, ensuring environmental sustainability. This approach is faster, effective, and does not upset the natural balance. Our workflow begins with planning required flights, assessing those plans, collecting imagery data, analyzing the data to unlock variable insight, providing visualized reports to our clients. Our business model entails selling data to NGOs, AGs, retailers, and we will have several subscription options such as the after-sale pest and disease control at $18 per hectare. Our technology will be used in various services such as pest and disease identification, air spraying, just to mention a few. The global agriculture market makes up to $32 billion US, and our services will help 5,000 Zambian farmers while generating 13 million in revenue within the first year. Our go-to-market is to establish a leading position in agro-tech space among farmers and agro-dealers by offering diagnostic tools while integrating other data platforms such as weather platforms and ground sensor platform to our digital platform. Goliath has an inbuilt development of drones as well as a friendly platform, thus disrupting other technologies through its low cost and customer lock-in. Our team is very diverse, comprised of an aeronautical engineer, agronomist, and a data scientist. Thank you for your time, and you can reach us on these numbers.
That was Goliath. Maybe we should welcome the founder. Let's have Brooks on stage. Brooks.
Hi, Stefan, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but I can't see
All right.
you.
Yeah, just about to turn on my video.
There you are. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How's it going?
Doing fine. Yes. How is the program been for Goliath? Maybe you could, from the beginning when you started and now, what has happened? We all know that when you started, there were 7 of you, but you soldiered on. And tell us a bit, how has the experience been?
The experience was great. There was a lot of friction in the sense that the mentors were pushing us, which was good. But you know, sometimes when people are pushing you, it's not always a good thing. Like you spend the whole week preparing for this, and then they tell you, no, you still have to add this, and you're like, oh my goodness, when is this gonna end? Throughout the whole program. But overall, I think it improved our quality. I think we're better, more prepared now to meet even external investors, and we know what pitfalls to avoid when it comes to pitching. Then on my end, when I was doing the program at that point, I was in the US. So I had to wake up at 4 a.m. to attend the meetings and then go to work. So it was a bit rough, but we made it through. It was worth it.
That's what happens with the mentor-driven program. They will be rearranging your brain, challenging your assumptions and all that. So wish you the very best going. So what's next for Colette after today?
After today, there's a lot of feedback that we got throughout this program. Most of it, since the program was short, most of the suggestions we didn't finish implementing them. And so the challenge that we've been having, not the challenge, the goal now is to implement all the suggestions that were given just to improve our market and also just our reach in terms of the investors.
All right, congratulations, Brooks, to you and your colleagues. It has been a wonderful experience having you on the program, and we wish you the very best. We are following you, and we strongly believe that 2023 is going to be a different year, a better year altogether for Colette. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, I agree. Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. And that was Colette. And now we move on to the next. That is S-Smart. S-Smart Technology.
Hi, my name is Chabo Mchinshi. I'm the CEO of S-Smart Technologies, which is an edtech company based in Zambia. We are faced with the following problems. 60% of the pupils have unreliable internet access, and also 40% they say internet is very costly in Zambia. It was further reported that 40% of the pupils failed to go to secondary school by the Ministry of Education in Zambia. It is further highlighted by UNICEF to say that 600 million pupils are still affected by the effects of COVID, making it very hard to access numerical skills and literacy skills. Our solution includes a self-e-learning portal and also giving access to more than 50,000 kids in Zambia. And also we have developed a USSD portal that gives access a lot of practical exam questions and solutions to kids without a smartphone. And also we have coupled that with our white label kids tablets, which sell very affordably in Zambia. Our traction has seen us on board more than 50,000 kids in the past 2 years, and also we have won the Injini Bongo Hive Challenge, we have won the Citibank Challenge, we have won the JICA Ninja Challenge, just to mention a few. And also we have onboarded more than 100 schools to help us onboard these kids on our learning platform. Our business model is very simple. We charge $1 per month, and also our kids tablets are at $100 each, and also we accept payments via mobile money and also Visa and also MasterCard, making it very easy for pupils to pay and parents for their portal for their kids. Our strategic partnerships include Zamtel, M-Finance, Madison, NTBC, JICA, just to mention a few. Our competitors include iSchool Africa, Z-Tutors, whose mostly have video lessons and also offline content, while our major competitive advantage is we've got MOUs with the Ministry of Education in Zambia and also an MOU with Telcom. Our ask is $130,000, which will go to content creation and also tablets. Also R&D is our major focus. Our team includes myself, Emmanuel, Lee, John, and also Michael, with more than 50 years of industry experience in banks, MNOs, and law. I thank you.
The man is here, Chabu. Hi, Chabu. May we have Chabu on stage? Shabu, how are you? Hey.
Hi, how are you? I'm in the
Very well.
dark
How are you?
place. I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Very well, very well. What an amazing pitch you've just watched there. How are things going after the program?
They are looking okay and promising. I'm sure it's to implement what we learned from our mentors and from the whole program so that we try to grow.
All right, all right. So what would you say was your major takeaway from Founders Boost? And as a founder, you may have participated in different programs, but what has been your experience? What can you say has been different about Founders Boost?
I think it's one of my major takeaways is the intensity of the program, and also it was very well packed, and also mentors made sure that you go back and forth to ensure that you validate your program in a real environment. So that is one of the things that really caught us, and also we're trying to implement, especially on ensuring that the problem is really out there, and also we are providing the correct solution to the EdTech problem we have in Zambia.
Okay, so I'll ask again, just to with the same question that I asked your colleague who got the stage. What's next for S-Smart after Demo Day today? Like, what's the future like?
I think the future looks bright and also promising in terms of what we learned and what maybe Milo could have touched on in terms of getting investment ready. So it's something that goes beyond a lot of things, and also it's something that teaches us to be ready. So for any type of investments, we just have to be ready and also position ourselves and also apply what we learned from as much as pitch deck preparations to coaching in the financial, some legal sessions. I think that was very important for our company going forward. Yeah.
Awesome. So in terms of targets, like how many, maybe you have some targets for 2023 in terms of customers, users, what is it looking like? How are the prospects?
Our prospect is to have more than 100,000 users on the platform, and also next year launch the USSD with the Ministry of Education in partnership with the Examination Council of Zambia, where we are now trying to deliver the e-learning and exam assessments on the USSD, meaning we are giving access to the to all pupils that do not have access or can't afford to buy our tablets, so they'll be able to use their feature phones to access the e-learning past examination questions. And also, since the Examination Council of Zambia has introduced the school assessments continuously, so meaning we are going as back as grade 5 to grade 7 primary school to ensure that we offer that type of assessment for kids. So it's already available on the *8585#, so you can try and see our demo there. Yeah, thanks.
All right, looks like 2023 is looking very bright for S-Smart. We wish you the very best, Chabu. Keep pushing, keep on keeping on. We have to move on now. Thank you so much for being with us, and congratulations for finishing the race.
Thank you so much, and thank you to your team.
All right, all right. Allow me to welcome my colleague, Faith Mukumbiri. She has been amazing throughout the program, being the program manager for FoundersBoost Zambia 2022. Faith, Welcome.
Thank you so much. I've been having some challenges with my gadgets, but I've managed. It's been an exciting journey with the FoundersBoost, especially for the squad. I had a great time and interacting with the founders and the mentees. Anyways, without wasting much of the time, we're going to have a video of Kwelani, which was one of the founders that we had for this squad. Kwelani video coming up.
Hello, my name is Datkov Siwale. I'm the founder of Kwelan, which is the first online car rental platform that allows car owners to rent out their cars and make extra money, like an Airbnb, but for cars within the southern region of Africa. Now, this is Mary. Mary is actually looking to rent out a car for both business and leisure, but she's been facing some problems. The first one being that renting a car and finding information has been very tedious and very difficult for her. And the fact that the industry isn't highly regulated should a lot of time and money as well. Now, this is Peter. Peter is looking to make extra money as he's an accountant and has multiple vehicles. Introducing Kwelan, which aims to digitize and make car rental more easier and more reliable as well. The team is comprised of 3 people. Myself, Mr. Chalimba, and Mrs. Rose. We hold different tasks and different responsibilities as well. The current global value of the industry is at $103 billion and expected to rise as well, Africa being no exception. The current value of the southern region of Africa makes about 800 million and expected to rise by 21% by the year 2028. We as Kwelan aim to at least take over 21% of the total market value of the industry. Our revenue model comprises of commission-based system where we aim to take about 20% of the total value of the booking of each car per day as well. Our competitive advantage is that we're the first in the Zambian market. Our platform is very easy to use. Bookings are guaranteed, so there's less likely chances of fraud, and we regulate everything to ensure that everything is transparent as possible from both the client and the partner as well. Our traction thus far has been that we've received more than 60 online bookings, 61 being international and the rest being local. So we've got over 21 partners who've signed up with us and a fleet of over 40 cars as well. Our strategy for 4 years is comprised of mainly getting a total of about 1,000 cars, about 85,000 bookings, and about 35,000 users as well who will be making the bookings as well. Our marketing strategy is mainly comprised of mainly taking partnerships with big companies as well, social media marketing, and as well as dealerships as well. Our main costs mainly comprise of platform development, which will involve upgrading the software and creating the app, purchasing cars as we'll be using a hybrid model, operations and legal works, as well as marketing as well.
Fantastic. That was a great presentation. Calling upon Datkov as the founder of Kwelani, can you join me on the stage here? Datkov?
Oh, hi. Hi, everyone else.
Hi, how are you? Can you hear me,
Hello?
Datkov?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
All right. How has been the journey for you with FoundersBoost?
I would say it's been really, really good and really helpful. I think we've had some amazing mentors. I would really like to thank all the mentors and the team as well, who've been in management. I think the program has been eye-opening. I've learned so much and the company has grown. I would say, I know the program is only 6 weeks, but the amount of traction we've received in those 6 weeks has been, it's just been amazing. That's what I can say.
Wow, that's amazing. So what are the plans for Kwelani now?
Obviously going further, just these past weeks have been so busy. We've had bookings at least every day.
So we're aiming at least to get a bigger fleet, get more people involved in the company as it's growing really rapidly. I'm hoping by next year we can start partnerships with, airlines, hotels, getting more people coming in. I think we're riding on the emotion of what the Zambian government has done to actually start business.
That's fantastic. We wish you all the best. I'm just running with time. We are really behind time, but it was a great pleasure to have you on board, and we wish you all the best.
Likewise, thank you.
You're welcome. Now calling upon Igniters.
I am ready.
Hello, I'm Ahmad, founder and CEO of Igniters Space. Wow, we've really come a long way from sleeping under the stars to reaching for the stars and launching the first space tech company in the history of Zambia. We are Igniters Space, the winner of Africa's Best Space Innovation Company and other competitions where we accumulated loads of AWS credits, signed MOU with the government, and we just returned from a trip to NASA. Now let me tell you why Igniters, by telling you about Peter, a farmer from Zambia. Peter, like the other 4 million farmers in Zambia, have been suffering from low yields due to his inability to access essential data about his fields. Peter heard about satellite technology from Joe, who hired a team of experts to solve his problems, including a satellite tech expert, a soil expert, and an agronomist who analyzes the data, giving Joe constant updates about his crop and his soil composition. But Peter cannot afford the experts. We are a resource-rich country, yet our yields seem to fall behind compared to other countries, making us lose on 70% revenue, translating to millions of dollars lost. We just seem not to get it right down here on Earth, and that's why we looked up there to the sky. Igniters Space is developing and patenting Ignite AI, which is Peter's new team of experts. Ignite AI uses satellite data combined with our proprietary research to give Peter actionable insights about his soil, his water, what to plant, where and when. All that with a click of a button. Ignite AI works on any device, including phones without internet through the USSD platform. Most remote sensing companies provide complex data. Ignite's uniqueness comes from providing actionable insights based on proprietary research on the ground with a web app and a unique USSD platform. Our clients range from farmers to government, NGOs, and even other space companies, tapping into 400 million farmers in Africa, starting from the 4.5 that we have in Zambia and you have access to through our MOUs. All that starts from $10 a month, paid by farming support programs. We also have project-based revenue streams with private and public institutions in Zambia. Our path to 1 million farmers is already paved through our collaborations. This translates to $10 million by year 3, reaching our ROI in less than 14 months. That's us, a strong team from local and international professionals, gurus in space, agriculture, tech, and business. Data is the new oil, and everyone needs it. We are in our pilot phase with a working MVP, going commercially by next year and global after that. The sky is not the limit. We are Igniters, and we will save life on Earth.
Hello.
That was Igniters. How are you, Ahmad?
I'm awesome. How are you?
I'm great. Wanted to ask, how has been the program for you, the FoundersBoost program, this course?
The program has been really good. You guys have been super helpful, especially Stefan. You're an awesome man. And the mentors were really, really nice. Like they really took us one-on-one and explored with us. And actually, I met one of the mentors when I was in Egypt, and that was pretty cool. So we didn't only have mentors for one program as done, we actually built relationships with them. And I think that is the essence of the whole program. So thank you again for FoundersBoost and for everyone involved in it.
would like to thank you also for joining us. We wouldn't be having this Founders Boost program without founders. So it's also great to have you guys on this program. So what's the next step for Igniters?
Space. Well, we are currently doing our first pilot phase with 10 farmers on the ground. They've already paid and we're giving them manual reports. Following that, we are doing that same pilot phase, but now with 500 farmers. And after that, we can go commercial and start selling to everyone.
That's fantastic. We wish you all the best. Looking forward to go to the space.
Sure.
All right, I would love to thank everyone who managed to make this program a success, from the program managers, my fellow colleagues, you, and also the founders board, and also not forgetting the mentors, going to the networking platform.
Yeah, and
before
we go to the next, and also just to encourage the founders, this is not necessarily the end. You are now part of the bigger Founders Boost community. You're now part of a bigger family. You can interact with fellow founders. You can interact with mentors. You can access resources on Founders Boost, on the BoostX community. You also can get some perks. You can be able to redeem some perks that can help you as you grow. So please explore the community, explore the platform, and there's much more available for you to go to the next stage. Thank you so much, Faith. I did not have the chance to say you are looking amazing.
Thank you.
The crown. Okay. All right, so we have to go to the next Zoom. There's a link there in the chat function. We can follow that link. It has been great having you all here. Thank you, and looking forward to the next call. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, goodbye. Let's click the link. Let's go. Let's leave now so that we can end this.